If you've ever looked into the path of spiritual awakening, it can feel like you're staring at this giant, confusing maze, right? Teachings seem to contradict each other, and it's just a lot. Well, today, we're going to explore a truly remarkable framework from the late Daniel P. Brown that just slices right through all that confusion. He built this single, powerful system that's designed to bring ancient wisdom into a clear, modern, and truly navigable path.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, for centuries, this journey has been described as this mysterious, super hard to navigate thing. What Dan Brown really wanted to tackle was this exact problem, the need for a clear, understandable, and, a replicable system that pretty much anyone could follow.
And his answer? It all comes down to this number: 4. See, he didn't just pick one map and call it a day. No way. He created what he called a syncretic architecture. Basically, a system built from 4 totally distinct but perfectly interlocking frameworks that, when you put them all together, create this amazing comprehensive guide to awakening. So here's how we're going to walk through it in this explainer. First, we'll get a feel for it as one unified system. Then we'll look at the high-level blueprint. After that, we'll zoom in on the specific roadmap for you, the practitioner. Then we'll get into the actual tools for practice. And finally, we'll see how it all clicks together into this one beautiful, elegant whole.
All right, first things first. This is not just some random collection of cool ideas. Brown's work is a single, totally integrated system. And to really get it, you've got to see that it operates on 2 very different levels.
So think about it like this. You've got the organizational layer. That's kind of like the architect's master blueprint. It answers the really big questions. What's the overall design of this whole path? And crucially, where am I on it right now? Then you've got the methodological layer. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is the builder's actual toolkit. It answers the most practical question of all. Okay, so what do I actually do when I sit down to meditate? Let's dive into that first layer, the big picture. This is the high-level design, the scaffolding that provides the teaching structure for the entire journey, right from the beginning to the very end. So at the very heart of this organizational layer is a system called a Khrid. Now, this comes from the Bon Dzogchen tradition, one of the oldest schools of Tibetan Buddhism, and the name literally means practical guidebook. I mean, how cool is that? This thing is the master template for the whole journey, and it organizes everything into these classic stages of ground, path, and fruition. You can basically think of it as the complete syllabus for the curriculum of awakening. And the reason Dan Brown chose this as the foundational blueprint is captured so perfectly in this quote from the original text. It says, "These instructions touch every aspect of the practice." And that highlights a really key principle of his system. It was designed from the get-go to be totally comprehensive, leaving absolutely no part of the journey up to guesswork. Okay, so having a grand blueprint is awesome, but how does someone like you or me actually navigate it? Well, that brings us to the next piece of the puzzle, the roadmap. This is what translates that high-level plan into something you can actually use to find your way. And this is where the 3 maps come into play. They take that huge Khrid architecture and turn it into a practical, step-by-step roadmap. Map 1, that takes you from the very beginning all the way to your first real taste of awakened awareness. Map 2 is all about stabilizing that experience, making it continuous, like 24/7. And then Map 3, that completes the journey, guiding you from that stable state to what's called full Buddhahood, or, a complete and lasting realization of your true nature. And you can just hear the logic in Dan Brown's own words here. The path is broken down into these clear, distinct, and honestly, achievable phases. It just demystifies the whole process and answers that crucial question every practitioner has. Where am I, and what on earth should I be doing right now? Okay, so we've got the architectural blueprint, we've got the personal roadmap, now we need the tools to actually build the thing. And that brings us to the methodological layer, the specific instructions for the journey. And here, we've got 2 core methods that work together beautifully. First up is the elephant path. This is all about building concentration. Think of it as training your core stability. Second, you've got the Heart Sutra, which gives you this amazing sequence of insight practices to systematically clear away all the gunk, the clouds, that are blocking our view of reality. So one builds stability, the other delivers clarity. The elephant path uses this beautiful, classic metaphor. Our ordinary mind, it's like a wild, restless elephant, just scattered and running all over the place. So through this clear 9-stage training, we gradually, gently tame that elephant. And the whole goal is to get what's called a serviceable mind, a mind that's stable, clear, and ready to be used for the really deep work of insight.
So once the mind is stable enough, we can start the insight work using the Heart Sutra framework. Brown uses it as this kind of experiential compass to identify 5 specific clouds that are hiding our true nature. And these aren't just philosophical ideas, they are real experiential filters. We're talking about everything from the constant stream of thoughts to that solid sense of me, all the way to the habit of seeing the world as just a collection of separate objects.
And here's the really crucial point. The system is incredibly precise. As you can see here, for each specific cloud, there's a specific, targeted set of methods designed to dissolve it. The elephant path takes care of the cloud of thoughts. Emptiness meditations handle the cloud of self, and so on, down the list. This completely transforms the path from guesswork into a clear diagnostic process. It's brilliant. So, now we've got all 4 pieces on the table: a Khrid, the 3 maps, the elephant path, and the Heart Sutra. So let's put it all together. Let's assemble the final blueprint and see how these 4 frameworks create one elegant, interlocking system. This right here is the key takeaway. You really can't just pick and choose. The power of this system comes from its integration. Each framework fills a very specific gap that the others leave open. They all function together, kind of like the gears in a high-precision Swiss watch. And here it is, the final assembly. The Khrid gives you that grand, overarching structure. The 3 maps translate that into a personal, navigable roadmap you can follow. The elephant path gives you the stable mind you need to even begin the journey. And the Heart Sutra gives you the precise insight tools and the diagnostic compass to see it all the way through to completion. It's just a perfect fit. And let's end by coming back to this idea of a serviceable mind. This quote from Dan Brown just captures the incredible, practical outcome of all this training. Just imagine a mind that whatever you intend for it to do, it does it. Instantly, with zero interference, no second guessing, no distraction. That is the powerful functional foundation this entire system is designed to help you build. So I'll leave you with this question to really think about. Beyond all the maps and methods, what would it actually mean for your work, for your relationships, for your life, for your mind to become a truly serviceable instrument, aligned perfectly with your deepest intentions? And that, right there, is the elegant and powerful architecture of awakening that was synthesized and taught by Daniel P. Brown. A complete system designed to make the most profound journey of all understandable, navigable, and ultimately achievable.